Okay, this is a very brief video on the overview of your MACC 530 course structure. So let's go ahead and go on to the next slide, which is the only slide in this video presentation. If we take a look at the course structure from a 10,000 foot level, the course is made up of two software platforms, one being the MACC 530 class, which is located on the Cabrini Learn software platform, and the other is the Surgeon's CPA Review software, which is located on the Surgeon's proprietary software platform. Both of these classes are accessed from the internet. Now, both of these modules have different purposes, so let's go over their major purposes. Okay, in the case of the MACC 530 class module, okay, it's basically the coordinating point for the MACC 530 course. It provides all the assignments and tasks with which to interact within the Blackboard module, and also on the Surgeon CPA software review platform. And it is also the point where the student will report all of their performance in terms of required performance reporting that occurs within the MACC classroom and also on the Surgeon CPA review platform. The MACC 530 class provides live and instructor video presentations that provide a detailed review of the subject matter. Many of the subjects that we go over, you have gone over in your career or your degree, possibly in accounting. And this is basically to help refresh your memory especially in some of the detail areas about the subject matter. So that's one of the main purposes of our live and instructor videos. Also, on top of that, our live and instructor video presentations provide additional opportunities to practice CPA review exam questions, and those can be multiple choice questions or even task-based simulations. Now let's talk about the purpose of the Surgeon CPA Review software. Okay, the Surgeon CPA Review software, the purpose of it is not to necessarily review all the subject matters we do in the MACC 530 class. It's to prepare you as a student on how to basically pass the CPA exam. It doesn't guarantee you'll pass it, but it helps prepare you for it. Also, the Surgeon CPA Review platform contains all the surgeon videos that you will be seeing. Also, it contains multiple choice questions for practice, and by the way, there are 1,369 multiple choice questions in the BEC section of the Surgeon CPA Review. It also includes the database of task-based simulations, and there are 67 task-based simulations in the BEC section of the Surgeon CPA Review. Now let's take a look at a little bit deeper dive into what happens in each of these platforms. MACC 530 is our class is actually accessed through the Cabrini Learn rather, and you also may hear it referred to as Blackboard, or some people call it Cabrini 9, but it all means the same thing. We access our class through the Cabrini Learn Blackboard. The 530 class itself, the platform, contains our class syllabus. Also, all the announcements pertaining to anything that's happening in the classroom will be announced through our Cabrini class announcements, and typically, again, in addition to a class announcement within the classroom, you will most likely get a copy of that in your email. Now, one other thing I need to bring up regarding email: all of our email is sent through our Cabrini email system. In other words, cabrini.edu. And the reason for that is we have to maintain in just about every aspect of what a student does, a very high level of confidentiality. And the only place where Cabrini can exert that control is using the Cabrini email system. Now, there's a downside to that. Students are not given a ton of storage space. So if your email system becomes overloaded or it reaches its capacity, the Cabrini email system rejects all emails coming to you. So the main communication device for me with you is through Cabrini email. So if it's rejecting your emails, I'm not able to contact you. So make sure you keep your Cabrini email box as clean as possible. Okay. Also, the MACC 530 class or the MACC 530 module contains all of our class assignments and tasks. That includes viewing videos, which includes mine videos, I call them instructor, and the surgeon videos. Also, it's where we assign our practice sets and our exams. Okay, we also attend the live class through our MACC 530 platform, and we do that every other Monday night starting at 7:15. And again, that's through this feature called Collaborate, or right now they're calling it, the new version of it is called Collaborate Ultra. We take all of our exams through the MACC 530 class, so any exam that you take is going to be through Blackboard. We also perform in MACC 530, we are required to do some written simulations. We perform all of our written simulation work in our MACC 530 classroom. Also, as I've told you before, or if you've seen in our syllabus, students are required to perform a self-reporting process on their progress in terms of their performance on task-based simulations and their multiple choice questions. And again, the reason for that is that we want to make students very aware of how many questions they're accomplishing and how many questions they've got right and so forth. And the same thing for not only multiple choice questions, but for the task-based simulations. Some students, especially those students who've come right out of undergraduate studies, find it odd that they're required or in effect allowed to self-report their progress, upon which there's a significant amount of your grade based upon your task-based simulation practice and your multiple choice questions. And that's true, but you're at a graduate student level, and you're expected to perform at high standards, but also have a high amount of integrity. Also, I do want to remind you that I do get separate reports from Surgent, and on occasion I do reconcile those reports back to your self-reported information to ensure that we do maintain the integrity of the self-reporting system. The last area probably that's important to you is your reviewing of your own class grades in terms of what's been recorded in your grade book. So the grade book itself sits on the MACC 530 class. Okay, now let's take a look at the Surgeon CPA review platform. The first thing is it's accessed through a URL provided with your sign-on credentials, and all of you should have that by now. Another thing is, if you don't want to access a URL independently, you can sign on to our MACC 530 class, and there is a URL or a link to signing on to the Surgeon CPA review software. Okay, now also you have on the Surgeon CPA review software is located all the Surgeon CPA review videos. And those videos are assigned in our MACC 530 class by categories, such as category 1A or 1A1, so forth. And you're going to be assigned those videos under your task listing, and those videos then are going to be viewed on the Surgeon CPA uh, platform. Surgeon BEC Reference Manual. Okay, the Surgeon includes in their software basically, I call it a reference manual, and so do they. It's in effect a very large textbook, probably about 600 pages long, containing all the subject matter that could be covered on the BEC exam. Now, I will tell you, you can read it if you wish. Uh, but I call it more of a reference manual because uh, it contains a great deal of information, but it's not necessarily written in textbook fashion. It's written in literally reference manual fashion. It's great for looking things up that you don't understand, and also if you miss questions on the CPA, the multiple choice questions in these practice sets, it does reference you back to the certain parts of the reference manual where you actually missed the questions. So I wouldn't recommend it necessarily as a textbook, but it is a good place to basically see, look at all the materials that could potentially be covered within the BEC portion of the exam. Now, also, the Surgeon CPA review platform is where you will perform your multiple choice question and task-based simulation assignments. In other words, you're practicing. And again, those items are assigned through your MACC 530 classroom. So you're going to be told how many multiple choice questions to complete out of which categories. For multiple choice questions for task-based simulations, it will actually or the syllabus will and our assignments will actually say you need to perform this particular task-based simulation. Also coming up in the next week, there will be another video on how you actually access and perform task-based assignments. Okay, also Surgeon provides what they call session and progress performance reports. You know, how well did you do in a particular session? If you said you were going to answer 10 multiple choice questions in a session, it will report to you how well you did in that session. It also has reports on how well you performed in terms of overall progress performance. That information is going to be information that is going to be part of your self-reporting. Then that information you're going to be transferring over to the MACC 530 class under Report on Practice Performance on Task-Based Simulation and Multiple Choice Questions. And again, that's part of the multiple choice reporting process. And with that, that's the end of the video, and thank you for your time.